going on, everybody? It's your boy, Paulie Black, a.k.a. the Don Paulion on Twitter, and I am the realest fan on YouTube, and today I will be bringing you my list of 6 linebackers who I think would improve my Philadelphia Eagles immensely. Okay, we all know that the Eagles defense right now is hurting in a few spots. Number 1 linebacker, number 2 safety, and number 3 corner. This side of the football is major if we want to be considered a contender for the Super Bowl. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go through a list of guys that I got for you. It's 6 cats that I think if the Eagles pick any of these guys up at any point in the draft, they will improve that defense immensely. So these guys aren't necessarily 22nd first round pick worthy. You know, I'm always a guy that looks at where you draft at, and you kind of look at the guys who will be around that time, who will be on your list. So, you know, you don't start, looking ahead to guys that you know you can't get. Like with the 22nd pick in the first round, we have absolutely no shot at Anthony Barr from UCLA, Kyle Van Noy from BYU, and the guy who I would love to have is Khalil Mack from Buffalo. We have no shot at those guys, not with the 22nd pick in the draft. But the guys I do have on this list could be sitting there at the 22nd pick. 1 or 2 of them I wouldn't mind spending that 22nd pick on. But the first 2 picks of the draft for my Eagles have to be defense. There's no getting around it. You have to be defense. You have to go linebacker, safety. I would prefer in that order. I don't really think you would have to use the 22nd pick in the first round for a safety. There's a lot of good safeties out there who are worthy for the second round. And if I'm correct, I think the Eagles might do what they did last year, which was a very good scheme. They went out and got some free agents, and they backed those guys up with the future of the franchise. So, last year we had Patrick Chung, and Patrick Chung's a decent player. He was a serviceable safety, and they drafted Earl Wolf, who I call nephew. Okay, because I just happened to be a co-worker with his uncle. I met the young fella. He's a real nice cat. And you got Earl Wolf out there. You still got Jordan Poyer, who I really like. These guys could make a lot of noise. These guys could be the future of your franchise. But I'm looking at the linebacker spot right now. I will be doing a vid on the secondary. I'm going to combine the corners and the safeties because it's only going to be about 6 or 7 guys that I'm going to go through. I'm not going to, load you down with a big long list. But all these guys that I'm going to put on these lists, you can check them out yourself. You can find some footage of them on YouTube. You can go check their stats. Some of the guys are in the combine. Some of them didn't get invited. Some of the guys are waiting for a pro day. When their pro day come up, I will go back and do some individual vids on certain guys who I really like. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to jump into the first guy. The first guy I got on my list, the first time I saw this cat, I was like, yo, he is a beast. A absolute beast, okay? His name is Jeremiah Attaochu from Georgia Tech, okay? 6'3", 242 pounds, 134 tackles, 62 assists, 43.5 tackles for a loss, 4 forced fumbles, and 31.5 sacks. This guy is an absolute problem.
He's the number 9 rated outside linebacker. We've seen him rush the passer. 6'3", 242-pound senior. Savage pressure. Down he goes. Attaochu gets to him, and he came right around that left side.
Play action, Manuel taken down at the 25-yard line from behind that time, and that's a nice stop by Attaochu.
There's Attaochu, 8 sacks coming in, who leads to Yellow Jackets up at the top. He just uses his speed that time.
Jeremiah Attaochu, number 45, coming in. Emmanuel Diake, the 2 edge guys. We've mentioned them all day long for Georgia Tech, and they were in on that play. Virginia fortunate to get the ball back.
On the blitz. And finally gets him. He dropped the football. How about Attaochu?
He's an animal, and they say that he's one of the more speedy pass rushers and can also defend the pass down the field and run with tight ends and wide receivers. He's an all-around a magnificent athlete.
Offensive line starts to break down, and Manuel slips, goes down, but there was pressure being brought by Atalchu. Big number 45 has been the best defensive player on the field for Georgia Tech.
He is their guy. What a move there. He gets busted there. How about the balanced athletic ability that time to get back up? Great play by big number 45.
And Renner to throw in trouble, sack, and a flag. Atalchu with the sack, no fumble, and it's 4th down.
Jeremiah Atalchu is taking over this football game for Georgia Tech defensively. They cannot block it.
Looking to throw again, and he is brought down again. Sack number 3. It's a second for Atalchu. Emotional time as Boyd wraps up his career, and Atalchu wraps up Boyd. Jeremiah Atalchu, his 7th sack of the year.
Talked about the speed lined up on the outside to the left. He's got that unbelievable get-off. Played linebacker last year in a 3-4 scheme, changed to a down lineman here in Ted Roof's 4-3 scheme. Tremendous quickness and speed.
Play action on 2nd and 4. The blitz picked up now. The rush gets through, and it's Atalchu that gets the sack. 9th of the season for Jeremiah Atalchu, and the 28th sack of his career.
He is an impact player. He makes problems for every defense. And he just uses his quickness and speed to get inside there, and that's a problem. You know, Georgia said they were going to make sure they knew where he was on every play and deal with him.
My second pick from my mother and my grandmother's home state, Alabama. Roll Tide. Adrian Hubbard, outside linebacker, 6'5", 252 pounds. He is a problem. Anything that comes out of the house of Saban is destined for glory. Saban is that bull. He runs the SEC. Alabama puts that work in all day long. Adrian Hubbard, 47 tackles, 36 assists, 18 tackles for a loss, 3 forced fumbles, and 10 sacks. This cat is unreal. 6'5", which means, hey, he get those batted balls down because he get that long reach. He's going to force a guy to change his whole angle trying to get to the outside. He has a good nose for the ball. He is a hitter, physical. That's what I like about him. He will put his shoulder pads in your guts and run right through you, just like we teach the kids.
The first half of that one has not thrown an interception since. And he's going to take off and pick up.
Is choose 1, 2. If it's not there, get up and get us out of a way and try to get us 2 or 3 yards.
Straight up the middle, down in 15. Malcolm Mitchell is wide to the left. They'll hand it off to the freshman Gurley. Rick gets. Murray, swing pass, almost dropped by Conley, but he does. Receivers bunched to the left. Murray with time across the middle. That is
D. Miller, good coverage, but not good enough.
Gurley heads over left tackle.
Third on the list, Florida State, Christian Jones. I like Christian Jones a lot. I got to see a lot of him this season. They had a lot of Florida State games on TV. 6'3", 232 pounds, 124 tackles, 99 assists, 24 tackles for a loss, and 8 sacks. Now, the thing about Christian Jones for my Eagles is we would have to just do a little bit of tinkering, okay? He's an inside linebacker, and I think he could play the outside. But why do that? Why not put Michael Kendricks back in his natural outside linebacker position and put him in the middle next to D'Amico Ryans? This guy, 232 pounds, is a decent size for an inside linebacker. All he has to do is learn. He can learn from D'Amico how to get off blocks from those bigger linemen, how to use his hands, how to fill the holes. He does it very well at Florida State. He's a game changer. He's a guy that has a good nose for the ball, comes through Reed's blitzes. This guy can get in there and cause some problems. I like him a lot.
From the sideline, 4-man rush and pressure, ball's loose. Seminoles have it. The sack came from Christian Jones, batted up in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Jones, and Christian Jones after the bat by McDaniel. Quarterback keeper off the left side, and all at once, the Seminole defense looks to be dominant as well. Christian Jones with the tackle there. Syracuse with negative yardage so far. Second and long. They'll keep it on the ground, and they'll lose 3 or 4 yards. Crashing through was Christian Jones. If you have an identity as an offense, Florida State's going to pick that up, and they're going to come with their best on defense like the run blitz.
There's the outside linebacker Jones. He was kind of playing some middle.
So freshman Skylar Morningwig making his 3rd start, throws it out in the flat to Pat, and he is wrapped up by Christian Jones for a loss of about 4 on the play.
Drop it off now to Hearns, and does not get back to the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 10. Bennett. Christian Jones on the stop.
On that play, the first time he's kept the ball and run with it. They now come back with that toss play, coming wide, this time with Zennon. Tony Zennon was the ball carrier. Christian Jones tracks him down. Tyus Boyd taken down by Christian Jones is in there. Christian's had a big night. Urban, you like it?
I like how they moved him to defensive end because of the loss of the powerhouse defensive ends that they had a year ago. And Warner and Jenkins and Carradine.
More of a difficult target. Play action with him, and that did not fool the defense. He was jumped by Christian Jones, the Mike linebacker.
The guy who's fooled right now is Taj Boyd. Christian Jones right here. I think Taj Boyd had some weaknesses to the left, and instead he gets confused. You know, he's reading Christian Jones. If he comes down, he's going to pull it out.
3rd down and 10. Brandon Mitchell surrounded by Seminoles and down for a 1-yard loss. Christian Jones.
A sleeper from Michigan. Go Big Blue. His name, Jake Ryan. Not the Jake Ryan from 16 Candles. Just Jake Ryan is, how can I say this? I'm being honest. The cat kind of looks like Thor. Okay? I kind of dig that. Like, all right, he looks like Chris Hemsley from Thor, you know, and he plays at a high level. He's a guy you can put him right in on. He actually can play both. He can play inside or outside. He was actually started out playing outside linebacker with Michigan, and they moved him to the inside when they changed defensive schemes, and he had no problems. His teammates said he was the captain on the team. He's a guy that can just get in there and get you. I would love to. We need a Clay Matthews. If you can add another Clay Matthews type to this defense, we can cause a lot of problems, okay? A lot of problems. 6'3", 242 pounds, 99 tackles, 56 assists, 31.5 tackles for a loss, 5 forced fumbles, 7.5 sacks. This cat could be a problem for a lot of teams. And if we don't get him, he's not a guy that you have to take at the 22nd pick. You know, pretty much outside of Atachu and Hubbard, you could get Christian Jones or Jake Ryan or a couple of the other guys that I got on here. You could get those guys in the later rounds. And if you decided to say, look, we're going to go and get a veteran in the free agency pool and then have this young guy to back him up, that's smart thinking. That's what the Eagles did last time. That's exactly what they did last time. They went out and they filled some voids with veteran free agents, and they backed them up with rookies. That's thinking. That's forward thinking. That's the kind of thinking we need here in Philadelphia. And I'm loving what Chip is doing. Howie had some great picks last year. You know, I was in love with the Benny Logan pick. You know, my man come right in, and they wound up getting rid of Sopuaga and putting Benny Logan down there. I don't really think the Eagles have to address the defensive line. I think with Vinny Curry, who else is down there? Vinny Curry, Benny Logan, and Fletcher Cox. I really don't think you have to worry too much about the D-line. It's that linebacker spot is where we was having a lot of problems at. Okay, we was having a lot of problems at the linebacker spot. But the next guy on my list is from the Ohio State Buckeyes. His name, Ryan Shazier. 6'2", 226 pounds. Kind of light. He's not a bulky kind of guy. You know, he's an outside linebacker, and he has good speed. He has good range. Okay, he's great range. This cat right here, 210 tackles, 107 assists, 45.5 tackles for a loss, 9 forced fumbles, and 15 sacks, which means he knows how to get after the football. Okay, you know, a lot of times at the next level, you know, these guys just need to put on 10 or 15 more pounds, you know, mostly muscle, and more than likely it's always muscle, so they can be able to make that transition to the next level, because they're going to be up against, you know, some very, very stout and athletic 330-plus offensive linemen. Okay, so it's not like it was in college. You're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. This is where the big boys play. You have to put some bulk on if you want to be able to be dominant at that position at the same level you was in college. So far we've got Jeremy Atachu, Adrian Hubbard, Christian Jones, Jake Ryan, Ryan Shazier, and last but not least, we've got a young fella from Notre Dame named Shaq Williams. Okay, now I like this cat. I really, really like this cat. He could be a 3rd or 4th round steal easy. He might even slip a little lower than that. But I say if he's on the board and you got to pick, take this cat. Okay, take this cat because his upside is phenomenal. Okay, he's 6'5", 255 pounds. Okay, playing for Notre Dame, the Golden Domers. Let me tell you something. 20 tackles, 25 assists, 6 tackles for a loss. He is raw. Now, he's the type of cat, if you're going to go with a veteran free agent, this is the kind of guy that you draft behind him that can learn from a vet. I'm pretty sure he's hungry. He can step right in there and do exactly what you need him to do. Exactly what you need him to do. So what I would say to that is he is a guy that you can take a flyer on him in the later rounds, and I think you would be happy about that. I think you would be okay with it. Now, my dream player, and I only have one outside of the big 3, you know, but my dream player, if he was still on the board at 22, I would take him over all the guys I got on this list, even the Tachu, and that is from the Alabama Crimson Tide. Roll Tide! C.J. Mosley. He is NFL ready, no doubt. Okay, 6'2", 232 pounds, 175 tackles, 144 assists, 23 tackles for a loss, 2 forced fumbles, 6.5 sacks, 5 INTs, including 3 pick sixes. Okay, he's an inside linebacker. That means you put him on this defense next to D'Amico Ryans, slide Kendricks back to the outside. So now you have athleticism at all 4 spots at your linebacker core in this 3-4 defense. Kendricks and Connor Barwin on the outside, C.J. Mosley and D'Amico Ryans in the middle. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say. Like, okay, but let me tell you something. These guys right here, these 6 guys, 7 accounting C.J. Mosley, are guys that I think the Eagles could add to this roster and make a dramatic impact. I really think these guys can make an impact. Now, the next video is going to be on the secondary. Okay, I'm going to attack the safety and cornerback position at the same time. I'm really not going to separate them, even though I should. It's just not going to be a lot of guys. Man. That's not a heavy pick. Those guys are going to get taken in the later rounds, so I can kind of get 3 or 4. I'll take 3 or 4 corners and 2 or 3 safeties, and I'll make a nice little list of those guys. I'll get some picks, I'll get some footage, but I'm going to address the secondary with the next video. But this video right here was strictly linebackers. I hope you enjoyed it. Go Birds, EAGLES Eagles. I'm out.